Do you want to hear a ghost story? So this box card is actually like a book, and because it says ghost stories on it, it came with no story actually. It came with just a blank page right here and right here, and also it only came with the graphics on one side, and I decided to put the graphics on both sides. And I found a story last year that was called The Ghost of the Bloody Finger. I thought it's the perfect story for a child, and it's not gross or gruesome or scary. It's a silly ghost story. So I'm going to show you how I put this together, and I will read the story to you. All right, so here is the card in the envelope. And this is how it looks folded up. So the ghost stories, it's called The Ghost of the Bloody Finger. In a small town not far from here, there was an old abandoned house. No one ever went near it because everyone said that it was haunted. One day, a bunch of local people were sitting in a coffee shop chatting about bravery. One man in particular was bragging loudly. "I'm not afraid of anything," he boasted. "Oh yeah?" asked his buddy. "I'll bet that you aren't brave enough to spend a night alone in that old abandoned house." The boaster didn't want to admit that he was afraid, so he agreed to sleep in the house that very night. At dusk, he arrived at the house alone. He checked every room and found nothing unusual. He chose an upstairs bedroom, spread out his sleeping bag on the floor, and tried to sleep. He had just dozed off when he heard a faint noise from downstairs. He strained to hear what it was. It sounded like someone moaning these words: "I am the ghost of the bloody finger. I'm in the front hall." The man told himself that he was just imagining things. It must be the wind, he thought. But then he heard a bit louder: "I am the ghost of the bloody finger. I am at the bottom of the stairs." "My imagination is running wild," thought the man. "I am just going to go to sleep, and soon it will be morning." But then he heard even louder: "I am the ghost of the bloody finger. I am at the top of the stairs." The man dove inside his sleeping bag, but he could still hear the ghost coming closer. "I am the ghost of the bloody finger. I am in the upstairs hall." The man hid his head under his pillow, but he could hear the ghost coming even closer. "I am the ghost of the bloody finger. I am at the bedroom door." The man was shaking with terror. The door creaked open. "I am the ghost of the bloody finger. I am in the bedroom." The ghost paused in the doorway. "I am the ghost of the bloody finger. Do you have a Band-Aid?" And then this is the back. And it's a silly story, but I mean, I thought it was, I didn't want to add anything because this is probably going to be for a child. I didn't want to add anything that was, going to traumatize anyone. But saying, "Do you have a Band-Aid?" I just thought that was cute. So, and the pattern, like I said, it only came with the pattern and then the graphic for one side. And I thought, if I'm going to put a story in here, and I didn't want one too long, but this one was too funny to not choose. So I thought, and it was so long that I ended up having to use both sides. I could have just put a story here and a story here, and maybe even the end of the story here. But I chose to do it on both sides, on both sheets, so that there's paper on both sides. Plus there's the ghost and the fence on this side. And although the pumpkin on here, well, it's not really that straight on here, but a couple of them that I made 5 of this one design. A couple of them, they were perfectly centered on this tan or off-white, like eggshell, whatever color. but on this side it was like way too far over, and I couldn't figure it out because I had to line up the bats on both sides to be able to, you know, make it not look weird. So anyway, these are the graphics that I chose. I know they're a little mature, but you know, it's a haunted house box card, and I liked these because they were kind of vintage, and so yeah. And then this, I love this one, and this pattern. I was actually going to use the black one for the front, but it printed out so dark that I didn't think that you would be able to even see what it was. So I used this spiderweb pattern, which is what I used last year when I printed this same card. And so when you open it, this is all centered, and I mean, not open it, but when you have it, like, you know, closed like this, so that it's like, you know, oh, I don't know how to say it. It's like that, but when it's folded over, there's a little more space on this side, but when you fold it this way, there's a little more space on this side as well. So these are the things that I'm going to be using. I've got the buttons here, and I'm going to put those to the side now. I'm going to use this. This is a little dirty, but it's from glue probably. This is going to be to pick up the pieces of paper that's going to go on the front that says what does this say again? Spooky stories or something? Ghost stories. God, anyway, so this is for the hole punch for the buttons. It's got a little small thing on here, so I'm going to set this off to the side because I don't need that now. I've got my Barely Art glue and my tips. I'm going to use the both of these tips. I'm going to use the thin tip for the small pieces, like the one that says Ghost Stories, and I'm going to use the bigger tip for the bigger pieces. And then this is just to get out all of the dried up glue and, of course, a paper towel. Okay, so here are all of my pieces. I'm going to sort everything out. I'm going to set aside the story cards. I've got all of my little pieces right here. Here are the pieces for the one with the fence, and here are the pumpkin parts and the bat. The bat goes on the front. Here are these two pieces that go on this card with the pumpkin. I set those up there. And then this is the, well, this is part of the frame, or of the book. And then here's the front. Here's the back, and here's the spine, I guess. Here's the moon and the branch. And I'm going to put all these over here. I'm going to put them back in the same order that they were in, because that's the order they're going to be glued in. And I'm just going to put these back on top here, and the story, just to get it all so that it's all in one place and not all over the place. I'm going to put this goes on the back, so I'm just going to put that on top. So we're going to start with the ghost stories. I'm going to move all of these. So much stuff. I'm going to move these are the fence pieces. I'm going to move all of those over. And I just want the ghost stories in here, nothing else. Okay. And see, some of these pieces don't always come out, and I have to take them out. And there's another one in here. And I get these little pieces all over the place, all over the floor, everywhere. Okay, so here's my S. Here's my GHOSTS Tor ease, and I see another piece inside here. Use my little tweezer thing just to push it out the back, and it's gone. Oh, it's right here, and now it's on the floor. So there's my ghost story. So it's going to be put on like this. I'm just gonna grab it like this and flip it upside down. Let me get my tip out. And of course, I have got to use my safety pin or my needle to push the dried glue out, even though I'd already did that yesterday when I put it all away. So it's just a little tiny piece. Just gonna put that on my paper towel. It's no big deal. And I can see the light at the end of the tube. Okay, so I'm going to be very careful, because if I put too much, it's going to leak out all over the place. I'm just going to move this a little. Actually, I'm going to put this on here like this. I'll make it easier to put on there. I'm just going to put a little bit on. I don't want to go crazy. I'm not going to put it on every square inch of this thing, although it looks like I'm doing that. So I just lay it on top while I've also got my fingers around it ready to press onto it to release it as soon as I get close. And then I just gotta center it so that it's on there, and then just press down on it. And that's pretty much how these things go on. It's it does take a lot of time to figure all this out, and because I mean, once you first start doing this, it's really a lot of making a lot of messes, and not getting things on straight, and a lot of frustration, until eventually you just figure it all out. And sometimes I figure it out on every time I do the same cards. I will forget for the next time, and then I remember. Let's see, that's not on straight, so there we go. Okay, got my ghost. Now for my S. So I'm just gonna put it there like that, and then upside down. I hear a car backing up. Beep, beep, beep. Oops, I let go too fast. There we go, it's fine. Okay, and it's funny because I lost one of these, one of the S's, and I looked I have a like a patterned rug, and I looked everywhere for like what seemed like forever. It was probably about maybe 10 or 15 minutes looking for that thing. So I ended up cutting another piece, and then right when I was cleaning everything up, I looked down, I dropped something, and I turned the light on my phone, and it was right there, right down where my feet are. And I looked there. I looked everywhere, and I couldn't find it. And that always seems to happen. But I think that's part of Murphy's Law, right? Okay, that's the last piece for this. Gotta make sure it's on straight. There we go. And it's not on perfectly straight. But once the glue hits, you're done. Okay, so that's Ghost Stories. That's going to go off to the side. I'm going to put the ghost pieces together. And I'm not doing anything in any particular order. I'm just grabbing and doing. This card did not come with these black pieces, but this is the color that the ghosts are going to be sitting on. And you don't really see the contrast here between the white and this color. So I thought it would be easier to make a black for the eyes and the mouth. So I actually cut another piece. I cut out the eyes and the mouth in black only, and it was very hard to get those in there. And I was putting on the one that goes on this side, I was putting on that side and vice versa, and it was just not easy. So I thought, let's just do this. Oops, I was totally off frame, wasn't I? Well, you get the idea. So I just thought it would be easier to just make it in black. So I'm going to put glue. Actually, I can use my regular tip now. I'm just going to put the needle in here just to push out all the glue. I'll just set it off to the side. Regular tip will be fine for this. So I'm going to move these over, and I'm just going to try to be as very gently as I can. I don't want to push too much glue out because then it will get all over the place. And I got to line it up so that none of the black shows on the edges, but it's going to end up showing anyway. It always does. I should have probably made the black piece a little bit smaller, like maybe 2% smaller, just so that the white would go over the black and the black wouldn't be so visible around the edges of the ghost. But you know, it happens. So that's one ghost, and this one goes the other direction because, you know, there are two ghosts on one sheet, so one's going to be the reverse. Okay, well, that's good. That's the ghost. Now let's do the pumpkin. So I can tell the way or the difference between the pumpkin on this side and the pumpkin on that side because of the way the nose is. So so this is going to go on here. I'm just going to put the glue on here gently, and not everywhere, but you know, enough that it's going to hold it down. And sometimes if I get too much in one spot, I'll just go like that. And see, I got too much on there, but this glue dries clear, so hopefully you won't see any of that glue. And there's that one off to the side. Here's the other one. I should be using my fine tip one for this, but it's fine. Okay, those are the ghosts and the pumpkins. Now let's get the pieces out. So one side, here's the perforation for the fold, so I can see which one goes where. So this curve goes right, I'm not even on camera, am I? The curve goes right here. So it's going to go on like this. So I'm just going to put as much on here, but not too much. So I'm going to line it up and straighten it out. And it's too late now. It's on. And by putting paper on both sides will make the pages a lot thicker, so it'll seem kind of like chipboard from how thick it's going to be. So this is going to be the front. So I'm going to put this one on. I can tell because of the stem of the pumpkin, and it's kind of be at like an angle. So this is going to go up, and this one's going to go down. And I got to center it so that it's in there, so that when I put the other side on, I always have a piece of dried glue on my hand. When I put the other side on, it will hopefully be centered on their other side as well. But if it's not, well, I don't know what to say. I tried. I'm going to put some glue on this bat. I'm going to put the glue on the pumpkin. Oops. And on this bat. And not on the table. And now when I put it on, I have to line it up with the bats, not with the beige or off-white or whatever it's called. Okay, so that's pretty much centered inside here. Wish I was this centered on the other ones. Okay, so this one is going to be, I'm going to put the story on here later. I'm going to put those on last. So that's that and ghost stories. I'm going to put those over there. Now this page, I'm going to put the fences on first. And this is the front. And I'm going to put the fence on before I put the ghost on. And just like the ghost, there's going to be, you're going to see this color on the edges of the black. And they're exactly the same size. So I don't know why that always happens. I adjust and adjust and adjust, and it still happens. So we're going to have this piece go on here. And this piece over here, this way. Okay, now I can put my ghost in. I'll do this side. Oops. I'm just going to hold it like this so that I can line it up perfectly. Okay. I'm going to do this side. Same exact thing, only reversed. What was this? I know that's not my hair because I don't have hair. Well, I have some. Okay, this piece, oops. Are you kidding me? Oh no. It's going from bad to worse. One more time. Okay, and the last piece. No hair this time, please. I don't know where that came from because I'm not shedding. Okay, now the ghost. Okay, so you can see on this one where I clearly did not line it up that great, but I can't really see it on this side, so. Okay, so there's that. So now I'm going to put the paper down. So I got to figure out which side goes where based on the fence posts. I'm going to line it up with the bottom and the right side, but also keeping it lined up with the fence. Okay, that's one side. Here's this side. Okay, here's these two pieces. Now I'm going to use, or put the bat on. I'm just going to put it on this side. Not too much. Oops. I had it on perfectly. There. Okay. Now those pieces are all put together. So I'm gonna put the ghost stories on top. Actually, that goes on there. There, those are done. So now I'm going to get these all put together. This one doesn't have anything to go on it except for the story, which I'll do last. I'm gonna put these together, and this one I have to, this is my perforation right here. So it's got to go as close so that it's centered as possible, but also make sure that it's, because if I have it on the other way, it might not work. It might go too low. Yeah, so it's got to go this way. So I just go like this. Okay, that's that. Here's the other side. Same thing with this. Every time I look, there's glue on my fingers. And I probably need a manicure. Please don't hold that against me. I have to cut my nails all the time because they grow so fast and they break just as fast as they grow. Okay, now this piece, I have to add some dots for the buttons. And I've already put some dots on here, so I'm just going to hold it up and have it as close as possible to the top. And I'm just going to go like this, and then again over here, and try to stay within the same line. And have it as straight as possible. And now I need my hole punch. And I could have done this with the Cricut, but I didn't know where I was going to put the holes for the buttons. So, because if normally I would use the flaps to put the buttons on, but this card doesn't have flaps. It's just a book. So I'm just going to dump some out. Pick something that's relevant. There's bats, there's ghosts, there's pumpkins. There's a haunted house. I want to make sure they're all different colors. Here's a haunted house. I haven't really used, I don't really think I've used a ghost yet. Actually I have. I'll put a pumpkin. I'll do this one, trick or treat, and that's all, folks. I'll do those two. So I want to put these on first because it's going to make it easier to put the card together when the pumpkin, or when the card, or the buttons words are not coming out right, when the buttons are already on. And once I get the card put together, it's going to be difficult to put the buttons on. So there we go. Those are the buttons for this one. I'm going to set my glue off to the side. I'm going to put this over the side, put my moon and my branch on. This is all this paper that I have. I mean, all of the patterns that I have came in the same set from Design Bundles. And in case I didn't mention, and I don't think I did, the box cards are from SVG Cuts, and they make, I think, the best box cards. A lot of them look vintage, or they remind me of something vintage, and I love anything vintage. And I knew that when I made these last year, I think I just used a plain solid color. This year I decided I want to use a pattern because, you know, the moon isn't a solid color. So this one is just going to have some glue gently placed on here, but it seems to be coming out a little less gently. Oops. And I can just wipe it off a little. If I don't do that, it's going to get all over the moon. And I'm not going to be over the moon about that. Puns. Okay, so there we go. Oops, got my camera or phone. Okay, that's done. So I'm going to start putting the book together. And so you don't have to be exposed to my legs. I'm using this thing. This is a thing that I bought for quilting that I never use because I don't quilt that often or at all. So we got this one first. I'm just going to pull this down a little so you can see better. I'm just going to line this up with the bottom or the top of this ruler, and then put some, actually I'm going to fold these down so I'll be able to, once I put the glue on it, it'll be hard to fold these. So I'm just going to put some glue here. Oops. Put the back piece on right up against the edge of that perforation. Okay. And now I'm going to slide this over. And see, they've got numbers on here, so I know this one is 1, 2, and here's 3. But I also know because of the front and back. So I'm going to fold this over too. Well, it seems like it's already folded. Oh, and I put these little squares on the spine yesterday when I made the other 4, because I had to put them on as soon as I took them off of the cutting mat, because they're a pattern, and so they have to line up. I mean, they don't have to, but last year you can see this is a little curved on here, and then these are straight. Last year I ended up putting one of these curved ones that are supposed to be on the bottom inside the middle, or on this in here or here, and after I realized it was too late, and the glue had already dried, and it was no going back. So it's easier to just put it on straight off of the Cricut mat, just to make sure that I don't mess it up. Because it's easy to not pay attention. Okay, that doesn't seem very straight, but let me see. I can't really see that well. Yeah, it's on straight. Okay, good. Okay, I don't need this anymore. Now I'm going to put this book together. So I gotta fold this down just to make it easier. So I'm just going to lay this as flat as I can and put some glue on it. And then I'm going to fold this side over on top of that. And just hold it down until it's dry. And now that piece is on. And now this side, I'm going to fold this side too. And do the same exact thing, except the button is kind of in the way. But as long as I hold it up to the edge, the bottom edge, then it'll be fine. Kind of, I hope. I did this yesterday with the buttons attached and it was fine, so I'm just going to go like that. It's probably going to be easier. Okay, now it's open, completely open. Oops, it came off. Well, if it comes off again, yep, I'm gonna have to add more glue. These things happen. Oops. Do this one more time. I have to open it because, see, sometimes the glue will leak out. And that doesn't look very good at all. But like I said, it dries clear. So these are open completely. Oh well. Okay, so I'm going to start putting my pages in. This one is the front. I'm going to fold it down like that. And this one is the inside. I'm going to fold it this way. I'm just going to put some glue in here. I'm just going to butt this up to next to this one and then just press it down. And now these two are joined, and I can now put glue on here and put this inside the book. I'm going to open it up so I have it in here centered. Okay, so now it's story time. Let's see. First page. It's Ghost of the Bloody Finger. Oops. The next page, he boasted, "Oh yeah?" asked the buddy. I have them all in order. Okay. And page 3. Page 4. This is a long video, isn't it? And 5. If you're still here, well, thank you. I appreciate it. If you're still watching, let me know in the comments. And by the way, thank you for liking my videos and watching them. That's really appreciated. There's that last piece, and that's not coming or staying together. I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here just to keep that in there. It's because of these buttons. It didn't do that with the other ones, but I should probably put the buttons on last, but it's really difficult to get those on there once the thing is put together. So now that that's like that, I'm going to put the message part on, and I have to have it open like this so that I can center it in there. And then the other side, the ghost stories part, same thing. I have to make sure that it's open so that I can put this in. Just gonna put some dots here and there. Oops. I don't want to oversaturate it with glue, but at the same time, it has to have a lot of glue. I'm just going to center it, and I'm just getting glue all over the place. Ghost stories. But like I said, it dries clear, so it should be fine. It'll dry clear. And then the last thing is the bat. And the bat goes at an angle right here. Going to lay it flat so that I can press down on that. Okay, and that's that. That's it. That's the card. And now the envelope is the last piece. I'm going to put this over here. What I like to do when I make these, as you've seen in my other videos, is put a little drop right here just to hold these two pieces together. And just run some glue here. Put some glue here, press it down, and then I've got this double stick tape for the flap. I do this side. that's pretty much it for this card. This card is good for anyone, adult, child, whatever, whoever enjoys, you know, fun cards, they will enjoy it. And I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm not sure how enjoyable this is, but you know, someone had expressed that I should, instead of just showing the cards that I make, to actually make them. So that's what I'm doing. And if you found this enjoyable, please hit the like button and subscribe. And I will see you next time with another box card for Halloween. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.